Lights that work, even when the power goes out. Welcome back to another Techstination interview. Joining us from inPOWERED are the three women behind the company. Owner Cherie Cunningham, Chief Design Officer Russie Jones, and Chief Operation Officer Kathi Law. Cherie, I'll turn to you first to tell us a bit about the company.
So again, my name is Cherie Cunningham. I am the CFO of inPOWERED Lights. We are a woman-owned business certified through the WBENC, which is the Women's Business Enterprise National Council through DC. The company started about 2 years ago, well, January of 2019, a little over 2 years ago. We're excited about two products that we have that are on the market now. And we have some products that are in the making that I have prototypes for that I will be happy to share in a little bit.
So you've been in business for a couple of years now, and you are a lamp maker. So how did that happen? What was the impetus behind this?
So interesting story. inPOWERED Lights was actually Relialight, and I will let Russie talk about that in a minute. And my husband was interested in, he wanted to invest in a company. We came across Russie and her awesome invention. And we got involved and we wanted to revive the product, and we saw great potential and so many things we could do for it. It was something new on the market. There wasn't a product like it as far as the power outage and the light coming on and the charging and all that good stuff. So it was something we were really intrigued about and thought it would be a great product to bring back to the market and expand. And that's where we are now. So
Russie, turning to you.
Yes.
Tell us about this. Tell us about the origins of this and why these lamps are different.
Okay. And in 2009, the South, we lived in Kentucky at the time, and it was a horrible, horrible ice storm. We had almost half an inch of ice, which was unheard of in that area. And we lost power for 6 days. My father, who is a former criminal attorney, had very mild dementia, and he lived with us. He also suffered from osteoporosis and COPD. So he had living apartment in the basement, and the ice storm hit. He knew it was coming. We had him in bed tucked in, but his TV went out. So he got up to see what was going on. His feet got tangled in his oxygen tubing, and down he went. So we're, of course, running around this huge house trying to figure out where everybody is. We've got kids upstairs. We got father downstairs. We're trying to figure out what everybody's doing and where they are and if everybody's okay. And we hear this hail from downstairs. So we go running down the stairs because a fall for him could have been fatal, truly. At that point, what happens in the elderly, especially with osteoporosis, is they fall, they break a hip, they break a shoulder, whatever, that puts them in the bed, and then they get flu or pneumonia or other things like that and end up not making it through it. Well, he was 83 years old at the time. So falls were a huge concern for us. So we go tearing down the stairs. There he is laying. He had fell into his bed and then kind of slid down. So he was okay. Everything was fine. Checked for all the working parts, but he couldn't get up. So he would have laid there until somebody could have gotten to him. And of course, now we're talking a crippling ice storm. So there were things much more important than getting someone who was okay just up from the floor. My husband and I, of course, got him up, got him into bed, tucked him in, went upstairs and started thinking about all his friends, like from church and from his exercise groups and from all the different, he went to a cardiopulmonary exercise group. So he had all these friends his age with similar problems that lived alone. And we started thinking, what are they doing? You know, what if they fall? What if, you know, there's no one there with them? So we were very concerned, and we started thinking about, oh, what could we do with this? Well, my background was interior design and healthcare. And my husband's background was in electrical contracting. So we sat at our island at the kitchen, in our kitchen, and we sat there during daylight hours for 6 days, truly, fooling around, grabbing stuff out of the garage, trying to throw together a prototype that we could use. I mean, actually, we weren't thinking prototype at this point. We were thinking, what can we do so Daddy doesn't have to think to turn on the light, you know, it's something comes on automatically, something that will come on automatically when the power goes out, and it won't be obtrusive. Because, you know, he had a CPAP machine, you know, his nightstand was full of all kinds of medications, you know, everything that he needed to get to quickly. So we were sitting, my husband kept going, well, what if we just do like a little statue? And I'm like, no, what if we put it in a lamp? Because he has a lamp there anyway. So he's used to a lamp there, and then we'll just make it where it just comes on. So with my husband's pilfering through the garage, you know, the piles of junk that you get and you gain over the years, and you've got all this random bulbs and things. So we went downstairs day 8 or 9, and we showed my dad again, who was a former criminal attorney. He practiced law for 53 years. We go downstairs, we show him this thing, we plug it in, and the light goes out in the base of the lamp. And my dad goes, well, what good's that going to do me? And I said, well, I'm going to simulate the power going off by pulling the plug out of the wall. And he's like, okay. Well, I pulled the plug out, the light in the base came on, and he went into instant. I mean, he couldn't remember how to put his shoes on, but he could remember every case, every law, every statute, everything from his law career. He went into this. Okay, first you need to be woman owned. Second, you need to call a patent attorney. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. So we were like, I mean, he was a brilliant attorney. Not bragging, but he really was. He was featured in Time magazine, and he was just an amazing man. So we knew he knew what he was talking about. So we started that process that day, and he died 6 months later in May of 2010. And then our target audience, of course, at this point was the elderly and people that couldn't get around, had balance problems, and, you know, things like that. So in September of that year, I was diagnosed with cancer. So I went through cancer treatment for a year, and then, 11 months. And 11 months later, I was diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's disease. So I became my target demographic. So it became really easy for me to market to myself. So, you know, I was like, okay, this is what people like me need, because, you know, I was having problems, a lot of problems with falling, things like that. Well, then we have grandchildren. We have 4 children. We started, as they age, getting grandchildren. We had kind of 2 sets. And with the grandchildren, they were like, well, they call me G, and they're like, G, make one for us. And that evolved into what Kathi will show you. So we have our adult line of lamps that are beautiful, because, you know, my father couldn't well, we even is in our 30s, you couldn't find a flashlight anywhere in our house that actually had batteries that worked, because we had 3 boys and a girl who were just all the time outside playing hide and seek and whatever that spotlight game is and all that with the flashlight. So that was impossible. Second, you could never, ever find anything that was attractive. You know, you don't want to set a big old camping flashlight out on your, end table and just leave it sitting there. And then third, you're never right next to whatever you have when the power goes out. Yeah, I mean, it's just not right there. Click, oh, power's on. Good, I'm good to go. So this solves so many of our problems. Then as we moved on in a little more, our one of our son's friends looked at me and said, why can't it does everything I need it to do, Russie? Why can't it charge my phone? And I looked at my husband and my husband goes, it can. There you go.
So you mentioned Kathi. She's got the lamps with her. Kathi, we're going to turn to you to describe for us the lamps that you have on the market now.
So right now on the market, we have our blue coral lamp. This is obviously the more home decor, beautiful piece that you'd like to see on your tables, nightstands in your home. Full functionality of the emergency light, regular light here, and then the backup, the USB for charging your devices. And then we also have the Lamp Angel, which is a smaller version that was more geared toward the children, but really it can be used by anyone, that has the backup emergency light, the regular light, and then also the USB port for charging your devices. So we have both of these lamps are on the market, available on our website right now, and we have a couple other designs in development that Cherie has that she will be sharing as well. So
besides being able to charge your devices with it and it coming on if the power goes out, you can also change colors with this. Tell me about it.
Yes, so the Lamp Angel actually has quite an array of colors to choose from that the base will change to. So what I can do is demonstrate how that would work. Lamp Angel also comes with a remote, and you're able to, let me get my phone here. You're able to operate it with an app, and the app that we have it working with right now is Lotus Lantern. So this is how you could turn the lamp on and off, and I can show you with my phone how I'm going to do that. Let me turn this lamp off. So I turn the base on. You can see the color here. It's actually purple, and then I'm going to change the color wheel to a blue, to pink, to the blue again. There's darker pink.
And this sells for about $50, and the larger coral is about $100.
$49.99 for the Lamp Angel, and the blue coral is $99.99.
Terrific. Cherie, back to you. What's next for the company?
Sorry, had to unmute. So the 2 items that we're working on now is our vertical lamp. But this, again, we actually have one on our end table out in our family room. We love it. If you'll notice, we have this new center device here, which when the lamp is plugged in, it's illuminated and it just says inPOWERED lights on it. And you can see that the lamp is on. And I'm going to unplug it to demonstrate what happens in the event of a power outage. So as you can see, it's unplugged, but then the emergency lighting comes on. And then this also is the charging pad down on the bottom. The inPOWERED light symbol is where you put your phone on this particular lamp and model.
So it has wireless charging.
It does.
And there's another new model coming along as well?
Yes, and that one is the blackout lamp, which, going back to Russie's about never having a flashlight that has batteries in it. So this is our take on the flashlight lamp, and it too. So up here on the top, this part comes out, and there you go. There's your power.
Look at that.
The lamp is not plugged in at this point, but it comes on in the event of a power outage. So now you always have handy, and it's very compact, easy to use, carry it around wherever you need to go. Pretty bright, as you can tell. And then it just stores in here and it stays on, and there's your lamp.
Oh, terrific. You're obviously all pretty bright. So tell us when these are arriving on the market.
These we don't have a target date for these yet. We're still in production and working on some final things with that. But we are hoping in, the early part of next year that we have these and they're ready to go.
For more information and maybe to purchase, where should people go?
They can go to our website, which is www.inpoweredlights.com. We are on Amazon, Wayfair. We are actually in July or August, we're partner with HSN. So our lamp angels will be on the Home Shopping Network, which we're really excited about.
So people can go to inpoweredlights.com for more information. Cherie, Russie, and Kathi, thank you so much for taking the time with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Now this. It takes a lot of listening to build a better radio, and that's just what the folks at C. Crane have done. Bob Crane and his crew, nestled among the rivers and tallest trees in the world in Fortuna, California, have made a habit of listening to their customers. And that's just what they've done in building the CC Skywave SSB, the Swiss Army knife of portable radios. For everyday listening to AM or FM in the yard or patio or on the nightstand, without having to drain a mobile phone battery, it's a great companion. But it is also a companion equipped for NOAA weather information and alerts that can be life-saving. You can listen to FEMA and Coast Guard transmissions too. Beyond all of that, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world. It's compact, easy to take with you, and built to last. The CC Skywave SSB. Click on the link at Techstination.com.